If you are new to the channel and interested in more practice tests on different CompTIA certifications or Cisco certifications or Microsoft certifications, go in channel's homepage and you can find many more playlists with many more videos. So, no further ado, let's get into it. A Soho router or small office, home office router frequently drops connections when multiple users stream video simultaneously. The ISP connection is stable and sufficient, and I am just making sure that you know also all these shortcuts like ISP, Sohos and many more, which you also need to know straight away for these exams, because on real exam they will not be also explained exactly the same like here on these practice tests. ISP like internet service provider, Soho like small office, home office, and many others. There is like check out the CompTIA Plus exam objectives to check out all these shortcuts which you also need to know for this particular exam. So which upgrade would most improve performance? And here we are talking about which would most improve performance if the Soho router frequently drops connections when multiple users stream video simultaneously and the ISP connection is stable and sufficient. New Ethernet cables, static IP addresses, firmware downgrade, disable NAT, or router with better CPU or central processing unit. So which is the best answer here? And obviously the best what will improve here is a router with better CPU or central processing unit. Routers perform packet inspection, NAT and routing tasks that are CPU intensive. Streaming traffic increases processing demand. A stronger router CPU improves throughput and stability, while cabling or IP changes do not address processing bottlenecks. So here you should also know that not only computers, which are, if you are planning to get into networking in future and you will be studying also networking, then you should also know that not only computers need or have to have a good CPUs for their particular tasks, but also routers might need a good CPUs or processors to be able to handle the traffic which is incoming and outgoing from your particular LAN or local area network. And next question, a system experiences frequent boot failures after firmware update. The update process completed successfully, but instability remains. Which action is most appropriate? Replace the CPU, reinstall drivers, roll back firmware, change power settings, or add more RAM. And here the correct answer is to roll back firmware. And firmware and software, you should also know the difference. That software is something which you install on computer, firmware is something which is installed in particular parts or hardware of different components of your machine or your computer, for example, or motherboard. Motherboard also has pre-installed firmware which come with the manufacturer. So here firmware updates can introduce compatibility or stability issues. Rolling back to a known stable version helps confirm whether the update caused the problem. Hardware replacement or drive changes are unnecessary until firmware stability is verified. A company wants to reduce the risk of electrostatic discharge during hardware repairs. The environment already meets humidity recommendations. Which additional measures provide the most protection? Grounded wrist strap, rubber soled shoes, plastic tool handles, anti-glare screen, or surge protector. And here the correct answer is grounded wrist strap. A grounded wrist strap safely dissipates static electricity from the technician's body, preventing discharge into sensitive components. Rubber shoes and plastic handles offer limited protection but do not provide controlled grounding. A technician installs a new NVMe SSD, but it does not appear in the system firmware or operating system. The motherboard supports NVMe drives. What should be checked first? Partition table format, M.2 slot compatibility, RAID controller mode, drive letter assignment, or file system type. Which one is the correct answer here? Or what should be checked first? And logically first what should be checked is M.2 slot compatibility, as some M.2 slots support only SATA or only NVMe. This is what you should also know, that M.2 slots, they must support only SATA or only NVMe. Even if they share the same physical connector, if the slot does not electrically support NVMe, the drive will not be detected at all. Partitioning and formatting only occurs after detection. And next question. A user complains that file transfers over Ethernet are slower than expected despite a gigabyte capable switch. The network adapter shows a link speed of 100 megabits per second. What is the most likely cause? DNS misconfiguration, MTU mismatch, faulty router firmware, disabled firewall, or incorrect cable type. So which one would be the correct answer here? And here, logically, if that has nothing to do with system, then and everything is there, works and shows okay, then that could be cable type. So in this, I believe that this is incorrect. Yes, this is incorrect cable type, as gigabit Ethernet requires at least Cat5e cabling. Older or damaged cables may negotiate down to 100 megabits per second. And by the way, this number 100 megabits per second also told us that that might be the Cat5 cable, not Cat5e, which doesn't support speeds faster than 100 megabits per second. And DNS and MTU settings affect connectivity and performance differently, while firewall settings do not change negotiated link speed. And here you go, guys, another practice test. And if you are interested in more practice tests, go to the channel's homepage, of TechWolf's channel's homepage, and there are many different practice tests for many different examinations. And if you found this video useful, leave a like, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and see you in the next one.